Here we are for the fourth episode of Cruiseman Critics. I'm Jerry Cruiseman, aka Boompa. That is Maggie Fields. We're going to do a little different this week. Maggie and I talked about it. We had two movies that we enjoyed so much that we wanted to do two movies, and we're going to cut the questions down to two. But before we do that, I'm just going to ask our growing viewership to maybe give us some suggestions on movies they'd like us to review. And if not movies, then themes. And if not themes, then actors. And if not actors, then actresses. So far, you get the picture. That way we know that we're doing what you folks want to hear. And our viewership is growing. It's growing beyond the family. So I'd like to do a shout out to my folks at my work. I know a couple of them are looking and watching and enjoying it and giving me some positive feedback. So that's awesome.
Yeah, Blue Miracle on Netflix, 2021, TV PG, hour and 36 minutes. Starring Dennis Quaid, Jimmy Gonzalez, Anthony Gonzalez. We got Nathan Arenas, and I can't read my own handwriting, and Miguel Angel Garcia.
Oh, nice.
Along with several others, yes.
Yeah, I mean, some of the ones you named, I didn't even do any research on. So the main four that I have is Dennis Quaid, Jimmy Gonzalez, Bruce McGill, and the director Julio Quintana. But to set the table, so basically, according to the Decider, the Blue Miracle is based on a true story of Casa Hogar, boys' home in Mexico that was hit hard by Hurricane Odell in 2014. The boys had never fished before entering the Bisbee's Black and Blue Tournament, the world's biggest fishing tournament, and these boys caught a 385-pound marlin in the tournament and donated their winnings. So the 2014 tournament came to host city of Cabo San Lucas in Mexico just 5 weeks after the hurricane. And in an attempt to keep the tournament alive and to help stimulate the local economy, Bisbee Fish and Wildlife Conservation Fund created a Cabo Relief Fund. Anonymous donor pledged to pay the $5,000 entry fee for a team that agreed to hire a local boat. As the fee was waived off, the boys from Casa Hogar were able to get into the competition. So just not to ruin the story, but obviously they were successful. And their team winning of the $1 million prize was $258,000, and it was able to rebuild the home for the kids. This is based on a true story. Papa Omar is the real-life director of the Casa Hogar orphanage. So, Maggie, you want to pick it up from there?
Yeah, and did you watch all the way to the end? You know how sometimes it does credits, but there's a little bit that comes after that, you know. So at the very end, and you can see the newly renovated home for them, and it looks really awesome. It looks really nice. So good job for them. It was a fun story, and yeah, it's awesome that it worked out. I wonder if the little boy that did he gave him the nail to hang up, and okay, and if that part was true, that had some truth to that he hung up the picture over the door or wherever it was at, and prayed for it or whatever. So I thought that was a awesome touch, but I don't know. I mean, was that part real? Do you know? I didn't read
Hollywood and or the writers tend to take a little. They're very flexible in that respect, but the director is known for more religious and feel good type stuff. So whether it was added or not, it was a nice touch.
It was. I really liked it.
Yeah, and I don't think we need any spoiler alerts or anything, but I think it was a very feel good movie. Doesn't really give justice to the true story of Papa Omar. In actuality, the drama was even greater because he was just coming up to the tournament, was involved in an auto accident, and obviously complicated his efforts to participate. But at the end, it was kind of like God looking down and helping out these folks, and that 258,000 was able to not only save the orphanage, but rebuild it from that 2014 hurricane.
Yeah.
Just a very feel good movie. So.
Yeah, and Papa and his wife were so supportive and very positive. They were very positive throughout the whole thing, even though the boys would say stuff or whatever, and just kind of, oh, I don't know. Except for the scene where they were all talking about, ooh, what's your scar? What do you have or whatever? We all got them, and I'm just like, wow. At least they could put some light on that, and kind of.
It was almost like a homage to Jaws, where they were comparing their scars.
Yeah. But I enjoyed how positive they were, and no matter what was going on and how bad it seemed like it was getting, they were just like positive.
So a couple of the main actors, actresses, I only have three. I'll start out with the lesser of the group, which is Julio Quintana, the director. He doesn't have a large repertoire. His movies are pretty much a handful at this point. The Vessel, Sherman and Pacifico, Death of an Ally, and Murder Trust. But he did do a mentorship under Terrence Malick, and Malick is known for going way back to like the Badlands, Thin Red Line. Nominated for 3 Academy Awards as Best Director in 3 different movies. Quintana actually worked with Malick on Tree of Life and To the Wonder. So that kind of laid the groundwork of what he was about as a director. Bruce McGill, I really like. He dates back all the way back to 1977. Some of his movies are Animal House, Last Boy Scout, Cliffhanger, Time Cop, The Legend of Bagger Vance, Cinderella Man, The Perfect Game, and The Best of Enemies, which you and I both watched fairly recently with Sam Rockwell. Sorry.
I really like Bruce McGill as well. It's always fun to see his face. He's very good. Dennis Quaid, of course. Yeah, I mean, he's played in so many movies. And it's funny that we just watched 2 of them back to back, but it didn't even mean to. It just happened. It was like, oh, all right, sweet, another Dennis Quaid movie. I wrote down a little bit, Nathan Arenas, he was in Bunked. I recognized him, but the cute little Disney Channel show that the kids watched, and of course, as a parent, you watch all the little shows that they watch, even if you're not really sitting down to watch it, you hear it all or whatever. So, but actually Bunked was pretty cute. I did watch a lot of those episodes. But he was a lot younger, and it was fun to see him, a little bit more grown up in that role, because he's funny in the Bunked as well. So he just was, just always spunky and funny and whatever. So I wasn't surprised when I saw him. I was like, oh, and his character was pretty true to that. Miguel Angel Garcia, he is, I read that he's the one that played, the older boy that stole the watch and just always kind of had a chip on his shoulder. And anyway, he is also a musician. Thought that was pretty fun. So it seems like he's pretty new. So hopefully we'll get to see him a little bit more. But yeah, overall, I really like the movie. On Netflix, it doesn't show the stars, so I don't know what it was rated at. But being a true story, I really enjoy true stories. But I thought that was it was a good one. So I'll give it a 4.
But I wanted to go back to Bruce McGill to kind of give his repertoire, his history, his filmography, so to speak, speaks for itself. I mean, you go all the way back to Animal House, but he's probably best known for his work with the Michael Mann films, The Insider, Ali, and Collateral. But to finish up on what you started on, I had a 6.7 out of 10 on IMDb, 70% Rotten Tomatoes, and 87% liked out there, which is high. It's actually higher than the next movie we're going to talk about, surprisingly. But it's a feel-good movie. I found myself having just a little bit of a tear coming out, but hey, that's what you're supposed to do with movies. So
Yeah, for the happy of it. It wasn't, it wasn't anything sad. It was good. It was a happy movie, and yeah, definitely feel good, positive. It was good. I think it's worth a watch.
So Jimmy is 40 years old. He's kind of a mystery because there's not a lot. He seems to be one of those type of actors, actresses who keeps the personal side kind of caged in. So they really don't even know his actual birthday. They know it's 1981. The movies that he's known for, and I throw out a couple that probably will hit home with you, Maggie. First Date, Four Christmases, comedy movie. No Pain, No Gain, Taken 3, and Mr. Right, which is another Sam Rockwell movie. He's probably as much known for his TV roles, and this goes back to you, Mags, The Walking Dead, NCIS New Orleans, and Prison Break. His face looks really familiar, and he's one of those faces that you see, and it's like, God, I know this guy. But again, good actor, does a very good job, and
He was perfect for this role.
I'm sorry.
Like, he was perfect for this role. Like I believed it. He really sold that. Yeah, I'm gonna give it 4 stars. 4 twinkling stars. I liked it.
I will go, and both of these movies I liked a lot, so I'll go a little stronger. I know I went backwards last week, but I'll go about 4.25 just because it was enjoyable to watch. It was really feel good. 4.25 clamshells.
That's funny. I was going to change mine to Marlins.
There you go. Born a Champion is a story about a former Marine prepares for a jiu-jitsu rematch against a bruising opponent who cheated during their first encounter. It flushes out a whole lot more than that I just gave, but it stars Sean Patrick Flanery, who I like a lot. And Maggie, I'll let you segue into whatever you want to carry, and then I've got some other filler if you want.
So Born a Champion, it's on Amazon. 4.5 stars with 4,563 views as of now. 2021 film, 111 minutes, rated R. So we got Dennis Quaid again, Sean Patrick Flanery, which was, he's good. He's good. He's really good. Let's see, Maurice Comte, Katrina Bowden, Reno Wilson, which I really like him.
So Edson Barboza was the antagonist. So he was the fighter that Sean, or Mickey Kelly in the movie, fought. Edson is an actual UFC star. He's got a record of 25-3 as a kickboxer. Excuse me, and his MMA record is 22-9. And he's basically been fighting since 2009 to present. So he knows his stuff, and he is multi-talented in a lot of different categories, including Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. A little tidbit, Maggie knows this because I shared, but Flanery is actually a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and actually has been training since the age of 9. And he is 50, 55 years old, I think, right now. So definitely knows his stuff. He's a teacher in that art. A lot of you folks probably know Sean Patrick Flanery as the Boondock Saints movie. The original was 1999. The second was in 2009. So 10 years later. Both very good movies. So this is little tidbits I just like to throw out. He has a dog named Donut, and he named him Donut because when he adopted him, he had some donuts, and the dog ate all the donuts, so he called him Donut. Also, Sean Patrick, believe it or not, won the 1997 Toyota Pro Celebrity Race at the Toyota Grand Prix in Long Beach as a celebrity driver. Now, there's an Alfonso Ribeiro rule that says that if a celebrity wins, he must classify as a professional. So he had no choice in the following year but to defend his title as a professional in the same race. And lo and behold, in 1998, he won that race as a professional as well.
I think for that role or whatever, you would have to know what you're doing. You know, I mean, the camera was right there on them doing, you know, their moves or whatever. I mean, you could tell it was them.
Yep. Yeah, it's I enjoyed this movie so much.
Very entertaining.
The director is Alex Renard.
Alex Renard.
He is a French filmmaker. So something else interesting about Alex, we'll just call him Alex, and Sean Patrick is they both wrote this movie. You want to go into any of the others?
Yes, let's talk about his sweet little wife, Katrina Bowden. She's so sweet. She's got that familiar face. There's people, you know, like doppelgangers or whatever, that she looks like a few different people. Oh, who's Ben Stiller's wife? What's her name? And
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Katrina Bowden. So sweet. I hate to spoil that. I did not see it coming that she was going to die. Like, I was, that's so sad. I mean, it made for good, you know, it made for the, you know, good movie, you know, part of it or whatever. This wasn't based on a true story, was it? It's just people who know
it. As your husband so aptly put it, is a pseudo. It basically is a pseudo documentary, basically about Sean Patrick. So, but well written, obviously well written. So.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I loved every stinking piece of it, and I had to keep going. Like, okay, I got to turn the fan off. I can't hear this. No, I got to turn the TV up. No, I got to turn okay, stop walking through here. I'm like, I got to hear this. Like every bit of, you know, sometimes you can just, you know, not see a piece of a movie or whatever. But this one, I was like, pause it. Like, I got to hear what's going on. And it's such a good one. It was very heartfelt. Their little love story. They were so in love, and their friendship with, Maurice Comte. So what? Taco. So cute. That was so funny. I loved the three of them and their friendship, and that basically, like, they were the only family that they had, you know, between the three of them. And I don't know. There's too much to talk about them. But so Katrina Bowden, she actually had a reoccurring role back on 30 Rock. I don't know if you ever watched 30 Rock. So
nope, but I do know she had some heavy involvement in TV. I happened to read a piece of another review, and only just a piece of it, but immediately it set home that, oh my God, this guy's or gal is right. It was one, an exceptional movie, but two, had such similarity to Rocky, which goes way back to like 1976, 1977, but a best picture. And just such a good story. It was one of those uplift, feel good you had to root for the underdog kind of thing, and that's what this was. And I didn't think about it until I read it, but I mean, whoever wrote that was right. That's exactly what this was, and there were so many similarities. But such an exceptional movie. I mean,
it was super sweet. I loved the two different aspects of it with the fighting and his love for fighting, but also his love for his wife, and then the kid. He's genuinely he loves, and it's like he full-heartedly, I love this and I love this and I love, so that really got me. And I said, I wasn't expecting his wife to die. That totally threw me. I was like, oh, I didn't cry, but when he was talking to Taco and he was, I think that's right. Yeah. Like on balcony or whatever. And he just lost it. Like he's sobbing and, you just, like you wanted to jump through the screen and hug him and you could just really feel that, it was super emotional. Super. Yeah. It's a good one. What are you going to give it, Dad?
I am going to give this a 4.5 because I really liked it. I mean, like it enough that if I rented it and then went back and actually bought it to have a part as part of my library, I think that says a lot. And so at least a 4.5, and I'm going to give it a 4.5 black belts.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that. Like if you didn't, I was going to. I liked it, but I didn't cry. I almost did.
Well, need to cry.
Okay. So 4.3 Dubai ring. What was the last movie that you saw by yourself in a theater?
That I saw by myself? Well, the last movie I saw by myself was The Jazz Singer with Neil Diamond. And when I was going to school, I had a pass to be able to preview the movie before it was released. So I was in the theater all by myself for that screening. And The Jazz Singer goes back a number of years. I want to say, God, had to be early 1980s.
I watch movies by myself all the time at home on my tablet or whatever, but I don't I've never been to a theater by myself.
Well, so I thought was the question at a theater?
In a theater.
Oh, well, then that was the last movie that I saw by myself at a theater. Now at home, I watch movies by myself all the time. That was a sucky question. Who wrote that?
I don't know. That sucks. I don't like that one. Get out of here. Let's do a different one. What was the last movie to make you cry?
Well, Blue Miracle. I cried a little bit at the end of Blue Miracle.
I don't know. I cry at commercials sometimes.
I find myself more and more like if I really get into a movie, it really moves me. I mean, it could be an emotional scene in a series that could whoa, Yeah. But I do remember having a tear or two at Blue Miracle just because of what it all meant to those kids. I mean, I'm not sobbing and looking for a tissue, but yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's a tough one because I watch too much stuff. But so as far as a series or whatever, probably The Man in the High Castle. It's kind of sad to see that one end.
If you were on an island, what 3 movies would you take with you?
Castaway, because he'll teach me how to make fire and catch fish. I mean, probably The Goonies and The Martian, even though I've seen both of those 100 times.
Well, this is ironic because one of the movies I would probably do was Castaway, because it's a very good movie. Probably another Tom Hanks movie, which I already said was one of my favorite, which is Saving Private Ryan. And probably, this goes way back, but it's a movie you can't go wrong with, which is Quiet Man with John Wayne and Maureen O'Hara. Those of you who like what you see, please, as I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, give us some comments on what you'd like us to do. Doesn't matter if it's a particular movie, a theme, an actor, an actress, a director. We'll put together a show specifically for you and actually mention you on the episode.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.